Hello everybody, my name is Subtlestrife and welcome to my first video in what I hope will be a series of videos that I'm going to call Can We Beat It? The idea behind these videos is that I'm going to take one of the many games that I've played over the years and yet never actually managed to complete for whatever reason, and I'm going to try and beat it for you guys live on camera. However, I am by no means an expert gamer. I will make mistakes, I will get stuck at certain points, and that's where you guys are going to come in. I want you guys to give me hints, tips and suggestions in the comment section at the end of each video, and hopefully, working together, we can finally get through one of these games, and possibly a few more if we continue the series going. Okay, first game is going to be Evil Genuis. This is a management game much akin to Dungeon Keeper, which I'm sure you've all heard of. But it's set in the vein of the early 60s Bond films with Sean Connery, where the bad guy was usually from Spectre, who were trying to take over the world. Well, this game you are going to be playing as those guys. You are an evil genius who tries to achieve world domination. It's got a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek style to it. In fact, I'll let you watch the opening video and you can see that for yourselves.
Right, listen up, team. There have been reports of a new player in the underground. We don't know who it is. We know they're organised, motivated, and building a team of henchmen and minions, the like of which the world has never seen before. This person is attempting to become an evil genius.
Sir!
What is it, Perkins?
Would you say that the evil genius would have an underground lair, sir?
It would appear not, Perkins. However, I fear it's only a matter of time.
What do evil lairs look like, sir?
Well, Perkins, if I were to build an evil lair, not that I would, you understand, I'd design an evil lair, the like of which the world had never seen. Probably build it into a mountain, Perkins, underground. Throw in a barracks for the men, and a control room to organize the away teams. And a strong room, of course, store all my ill-gotten gains. Probably have to build some recreation items for the men. They get disloyal, you know, maggots.
Could you build traps, sir?
Hundreds of them, Perkins. Don't want agents snooping around while you're taking over the world. And I've built a cover operation to hide the base from prying eyes. Camouflage, that's the key.
It's a good thing you're not an evil genius, sir.
Don't be such a damn fool, Perkins. Right, team, you have your orders. Get out there and find me a madman.
So yeah, as you can see, it doesn't exactly take itself too seriously. But that's all part of the charm. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this, and new game. Yeah, I think I'll go on medium difficulty. As I say, I'm no expert. Okay, select my genius. There's 3 options to choose from here: Maximilian, Alexis, or Shen Yu. As far as I'm aware, this doesn't make too much of an impact on the gameplay, except for deciding which henchman you start off with to begin with. So I'm going to go ahead and select Maximilian, since he's clearly modelled off of Blofeld from the Spectre organisation, and Blofeld was always one of my favourite Bond villains, so I'm going to go ahead and play as him. Let's start this game. Since I don't have any comments to go off of, this first video is probably going to be a bit more like a standard Let's Play, but hopefully once this video is out and I start getting comments in, I can adjust my play based on them and get you guys a little more involved. There I am on my boat, heading towards my island secret base. Let's get this started, shall we? There we go. Okay, so this is the overview screen. Here's my island, so let's zoom out a bit. So yep, I've got a helipad there for launching missions. Here's the giant mountain that I shall be building my base into. Plenty of room to work with there. Plenty of beachfront property, nice sea view. And up in the top right corner here, we've even got some lovely ruins. So that's nice. So got our nice little docks here where we arrived. And a little shack out here with all my money in it. And no door. That is a problem. Okay, well, let's get going. Here I am, in all my evil genius glory. I can have complete control over my evil mastermind. I can tell him where to go, what to do. I can even execute a minion if I want to. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Just for the fun of it.
This Americana.
And... bang. And he's dead. That does, however, boost the productivity of all the other minions in the area who saw it, because they don't want to be next. What can I say? Life in an evil organisation. It's not easy. So, as you can see, he's got an aura around him, which will boost the stats of the various minions within that aura that correspond to the colour of the aura that he is giving off. Each stat has its own colour, and I believe this aura here improves the attention span and loyalty of all those who are within its aura. So it's a good idea to put your evil genius in a place where your minions are going to be spending a lot of time, because then they'll all get that bonus from that aura. But at the same time, if he dies, it's game over, so you want to keep him somewhere safe as well. So you got to try and hit a nice little balance there. If I deselect him, as you can see, he stays exactly where he is. He has no intention of doing anything other than what I tell him, because he's a good little boy. Now, over here we have my first minion, who is Jubei the Samurai Swordsman and Sushi Master. And he, like my evil genius, I can control him. I can give him direct orders. I can't execute minions, however. Only my evil genius has that authority. But if I deselect him, he will go off and do his own thing eventually. He's also got a couple of abilities down here. Gather Minions, Windwalk, and Eviscerate. However, he doesn't have access to the last two. He'll gain access to them as he levels up and becomes more evil. But for now, we've only got Gather Minions, but that's okay. Finally, we've got the minions themselves. This is Construction Worker Minion, the most basic minion you can get. And these guys I cannot order around. If I try to, all I get is a construction menu. So I can't directly order these guys around, but I can give orders in the world, and then they will carry them out as best as their little minion minds can manage, which often isn't very well. Okay, so we got a couple of objectives here, so let's go ahead and check those out. Evil intentions. Get acquainted with the island and start expanding your lair. Okay, so there's 3 parts to this one. I've got to ensure a healthy minion force by building a barracks. Shouldn't be too difficult. Before I can send minions into the world to carry out acts of infamy, I'll need to construct a control room to help filter information. Again, I'm sure I can manage that one without your help, but if you got any tips on design after I've built it, I might consider them and redesign the room as necessary. And finally, seems I'm under scrutiny before I even begin. Somewhere on the island are some pesky investigators tipped off to your arrival. Eliminate them. That sounds like fun. Get a little bit of evilness going. Oh, got a video tutorial here. Let's just get rid of that. That's annoying. Don't need those. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building this base. First of all, we are going to want a barracks for our minions, so let's go ahead and build that. Want it to be relatively square if we can, because that makes for better room placement. I think that should be big enough. Doesn't need to be too big, but we do need to get a few items into it, and that's the locker here and the bunk bed. Lockers are a very important piece of equipment, because this determines how many minions you can have in your base. The more lockers you have, the more minions you can have in your base at any one time. So I'm going to go ahead and put a few lockers there, and I've got plenty of room for expansion in this. Next I need some bunk beds, because the minions will eventually get tired and need some sleep, and they'll need somewhere to sleep. So put a few bunk beds down, that ought to do for now. And I've got a little bit of room there for them to get past each other. So let's go ahead and build a corridor to connect up to this building, this room here. There we go. That should be enough space for everyone to get in. And let's go ahead and build a door, just to stop people wandering in willy-nilly, because the forces of good will eventually be sending in people to investigate and possibly attack my base, so I don't want to give them free reign all over the place. Right, let's go ahead and unpause these buildings so that my minions will get to work on them. And as you can see, they go and run and grab one of these briefcases full of money. My hard-earned money. They don't have a qualm about spending it on whatever they want. Well, actually, it's for what I've asked for, so I can't really complain. Take it over to the depot here, and they will have some explosives coming back, which they will use to blast out the room, and then they will start building all the various bits. Here we go. Drop the explosives down, put them in place, retreat to minimum safe distance, and kaboom! There we go, one corridor. He's going to go ahead and build that now, under the tarpaulin, and there we go. And that's how rooms get built. Objects are much the same. They'll go and grab a briefcase full of money, take it to the depot, come back with the object, and build it into the world. Right, whilst they're working on that, let's get to work on our control room. First of all, I'm going to want to build a corridor out to... Thank you. Going to want to build a corridor out to where the control room is, and I'm going to want to set out the layout so I know where my corridors need to be in order to know how big of a room I can build. So let's go ahead and build that corridor there. And a control room. Here we go. And this doesn't need to be huge, but it does need to be fairly sizable. So I think that should do. I'm not overly fond of that little corner there being chopped off, but I think I can live with that. So let's go ahead and build a space for a door. There we go. And let's put that door in. And now we've got the control panels and the memory banks that are the main point of this room. The control panels are where the minions will work and allow me to send my other minions out into the world to do evil deeds. And the memory banks, I can't actually remember what they do, but I know they are important, so let's go ahead and put a couple of these in. Oh yes, if I put one there, those two might block each other off. Actually, I might be alright. Let's put one more in there. And we've also got a time clock here, which is used to make sure that there's always a certain number of minions in the room at any one time. I'm not going to worry about that too much at this moment, but later on in the game that'll probably be quite useful. So let's go ahead and build this room there. There we go. And off they go. Up, here's a minion carrying one of my many objects. So he's got it in a crate here. He's just going to run into the room. Which object has he got? Oh, he's got one of the lockers. So just drop it down. It's fine. It's not like it's fragile or anything. Pop, out it comes. Just like that. If only Flatpak were that easy in real life. Let's get rid of that video. There we go. Right, let's give these guys a chance to get this much of my base built, and then we can get to work on some of the rest of it. Whilst they're at that, we can have a look at what we have down here in the bottom. Oh, task complete. That would be my barracks there that I just built. Okay, we've got the objective screen we've already seen. Then over here we have our statistics. This shows us various things about our evil empire, how many minions we have, how many enemies are on the island at the moment, the loot we've acquired, currently nothing. Our funding is all shown here, income, how much we've acquired over the years, how much we've spent, various acts we've done, how many minions we've lost, agents killed, tourists killed. Yes, we can get tourists, and they can be a real pain. Agents imprisoned, acts of infamy completed, and interrogations. Here we see a graph of what all my various minions are doing at the moment. We've got idle minions, minions building, minions in combat, minions working, minions performing world domination duties, minions replenishing their stats, and minions training. Now most of these are down at the bottom here, but as you can see, a few of them are replenishing their stats off of my Evil Genius's aura and working or constructing. Down here we got a breakdown of our various minions by type: military, science, social and other. And as you can see, I don't have access to any of the military, science or social minions, but I'll get access to them sooner or later. And here is the general statistics of my various minions. Their health, loyalty, I believe that's their smarts, which will slowly degrade over time if they don't replenish it, attentiveness, and strength. So that's what that screen's all about, really. Okay, over here we got Minion Management. So this is how we manage how many minions are on the island and what minions we have. We've got a slider here that we can move to change how quickly we receive the minions. If we're really desperate for minions, we can get one every second if we pay them $4,000 to come here. I'm not that bothered, so I'm going to go and put it down at the very bottom where we get one minion every minute, but we don't have to pay him a penny. I'm a cheap employer, what can I say? Okay, we've got here our minion slider bars where we can determine how many of each type of minion we want on the island at any time. At the moment we got a maximum of 3, so we've only got 3 workers. So I've got capacity for 15, so I'm going to pop that up all the way to 15 and improve my work base. As you can see, these minions can progress down this path into more advanced minions, as and when I get access to those minions. And as they do, they'll replenish up to that 15 that I've asked for here. So I'll always have 15 workers, and determining based off of what I set in the sliders here will determine how many of the more advanced minions I keep as well. Okay, that's about it for that.
You may have noticed
go away.
People have important
Don't want those videos. Okay, only other things we got here is the alert status. Green, everyone just does their own thing. It's nothing to worry about. Yellow alert, all my minions will take up arms if they can, and they'll be ready in case they need to fight. And red alert, they will actively roam the island trying to find invaders and kill them. I've got a minimap over here. Blue shows where my Evil Genius is, and red will show me where all the enemies are. So here's a couple of investigators that I'm supposed to be trying to kill. So let's go ahead and tag these guys for death. Let's go. Let's kill them. And anyone who sees them will automatically start a fight. There we go. And when they die, they leave behind one of these body bags. Now these are incriminating evidence, so I don't want any investigators to come across these, because if they do, they'll start taking photographs of them, and then they'll try and escape the island with those photographs and alert the authorities to my evil deeds. So I'm going to need to try and hide them somewhere, and thankfully I now have a new room that I can do just that with. It is down here, the freezer. This is a room where I can put the body bags and I can hide them so they don't generate any heat. But if an investigator does get into the freezer and manages to get a look at them, they will still realise that they're body bags and take photographs of them. But it does make it a little bit harder for them. So let's go ahead and build a freezer. Where do I want it? Well, let's put it over here in the corner, nice and out of the way. And a fairly big freezer so that I can kill as many evil minions of good as I can. So there we go, that's left room for a door as well. Oh yeah, I can't put the door in until I put the corridor in. And let's stick in some freezer racks. These are the important part of the room. These are where all the body bags are hidden. So let's go ahead and put them in there. There we go. That should be a reasonable number. Actually, I think I can squeeze one more in. Yes, I can. There we go. That will allow me to hide plenty of bodies. Oh, my control room's up available, so now I can access the world map. And it's also given me a new objective. Oh, go away. I don't want these videos.
As well as being a
There we go. So, my new objective. Reports indicate that trained civilians are holidaying on the island. Capture and imprison a maid in a security holding cell. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. First we need to build our corridor down so that we can get this room up and running. There we go. And finally, I still don't like the fact that all my money is out here, out in the open, so I'm going to quickly build a strong room so that I can store it all away nice and safe. It doesn't need to be too huge, that should be more than enough space. Let's put in the door, and briefcase racks, let's put in a couple of those so we could get more money accessed quicker. So there we go. And that should be more than enough. So let's get that building going, and let's have a look at our new screen that we've unlocked, World Domination. Here we go. So here's the world. It's split up into 5 sections. Can't count. We've got Patriot here, who control the North American area. We've got Saber, who controls Europe and the Commonwealth countries. We've got Smash, who controls South America and Africa and the Middle East. Hammer, who are in charge of the Russian Consortium and the Eastern Bloc. And finally, we've got Anvil, who are the Asian controlling authorities. Each of these agencies will try and send their agents over to try and stop me, and I've got a heat rating here. The higher that is, the more likely they are to send agents to me, and the more powerful the agents are going to be. Also got notoriety down here, which determines how infamous I am as a evil genius. All my minions are shown here, and income, and I can toggle various things on the map. So, let's have a look. Over here, for example, we've got a number of control panels required to breach the security rating of the region and see the statistics for it. And we've also got acts of infamy here, which shows which are things we can do to improve our notoriety. We'll also get a bit of heat, and improving notoriety is important because that's how we basically get to the end of the game. Once we reach 500, we become an evil genius and we can achieve world domination. So, yep, here we go. I've just activated my second console, so now I can see the details for the region. So if I have a worker here, I can earn $4 per minute. Oh, okay. As you can see, my workers are being a little bit lax at working on the security consoles, so I'm gonna have to see to that. Yeah, I need you guys on the consoles, please. Maybe I should put that time clock in. Oh well. As I say, it also had a security rating up there, which is how quickly the heat generates as my minions are working there. And acts of infamy have a risk associated to them, which is how difficult it is to perform the act of infamy, a time for how long it takes, how much heat it generates, and how much notoriety it generates. That'll do for this screen for now, until I can get my workers working on the control panels regularly. I can't really show you too much into this screen. And this video is starting to run on a bit, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here before I get started on the rest of my objectives. So if you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, that would be appreciated. If you want to see more of this stuff, then you can subscribe to my channel, and I will be putting up more of these videos, hopefully, if this series proves successful. And of course, if you have any hints, tips or suggestions, go ahead and put them down in the comments below, and I promise you I will read them, and I will try and implement them in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and good night.